And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Wednesday morning's flying weather graphic showing a band of IFR here coming up across Bristol Bay, just west of Kodiak Island, right on up into eastern Norton Sound. And then some more IFR there along the southern slopes of the Brooks Range. VFR, North Slope Arctic Coast, VFR Central Eastern Interior, all of the Panhandle, and the Aleutians, VFR, as well as the Pribilofs, St. Matthew Island there, or actually Nunivak Island, and a portion of St. Lawrence Island for the afternoon. Here, Chukchi Sea, all the way down to the Aleutians, good VFR. Next system bringing some IFR in out toward Attu Island there, and IFR kind of diminishing here over the western interior, but still a band from the lower Yukon River there, right on down across the Kuskokwim Delta, in across the Alaska Peninsula, and now sliding up into Kodiak Island. And VFR here, south central Alaska, except the southern Kenai Peninsula, marginal VFR there. But looking good for the central eastern interior and the Panhandle under high pressure, keeping it VFR. And then for Thursday morning, again, good VFR here, southeast coast into Prince William Sound. Some marginal VFR sliding up into the Kenai Peninsula and Cook Inlet areas, and then westward meeting up with a zone of IFR again. More moisture sliding northward here, and we've got IFR all the way up to the western Brooks Range, VFR to the east, central interior to the border, and a little bit of marginal VFR on the Arctic coast, but not too much. And still pretty good VFR here. St. Lawrence Island, Tin City, Wales, right on down across the Pribilofs into the Adak-Atka area. To Unalaska Island, Dutch Harbor, Nikolsky, good VFR. And just a narrow band of IFR of that system out to the west. And that's pretty much gone Thursday afternoon, just marginal VFR out here. IFR just south of Adak Island, marginal to about Atka. Then to the east, VFR. Unalaska Island, mostly VFR. Then the heavier IFR still here over the Alaska Peninsula, up into the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta, not Nunivak Island. Not too bad there. Seward Peninsula, up across Kotzebue Sound, Selawik, and those areas to the Brooks Range. Central eastern part of the state, good VFR. And right on down across the southeast coast. Passes Anatuvik, IFR early, then becoming VFR for the remainder of the day. Adigan, same trend, just starting out marginal there, but probably before noon becoming VFR, maybe late morning. Lake Clark and Merrill, VFR the entire day, and rainy, same forecast, good VFR for Windy. Isabel and Mintesta, all VFR. Tanita, the Matanuska Valley, VFR. Portage, VFR. Chilkoot and White, VFR. Freezing levels, 6,000 feet up into Yakutat there, 4,000 feet. Oh, just up south of Dawson. And then 2,000 feet here over the eastern interior, all the way up to the Arctic coast there. And for icing, a couple of areas here. The main area, considerable moderate rime icing there. Togiak Bay, Dillingham, right down across the Alaska Peninsula. Lighter amounts up along the lower Yukon Valley there, eastern Norton Sound, actually in Nulato Hills in that area. And then with a next batch coming in with a next system out there, pushing a chance of some considerable moderate icing into Shimei and Attu. And the jet stream, huge area, high pressure here, centered over, say, near Burwash or so. And good jet here, southwesterlies, 130 to 150 knots. Coming around the western side of this ridge, and at 9,000 feet, southeast 75 knot winds cutting into the Aleutian Range, Bristol Bay there. Southern Kodiak Island turns south at 75 knots right across the Kuskokwim Valley, and then even stronger up here, 90 knots out of the southwest there across the central Brooks Range area. And for 3,000 feet, 65 knot southeast winds across Kamishak Bay there, southern Cook Inlet, and let's see, northeast, or that's southeast winds, becoming northeast at 50 knots there for the St. Lawrence Island area, or I'm sorry, Bristol Bay to the Alaska Peninsula, and then southwest 50 knots there for the western Arctic coast, 45 knots on the eastern Arctic coast, lighter over the interior, light variable winds for the southeast coast. And moving on to turbulence. Got considerable moderate turbulence tomorrow, Cook Inlet, Kenai Peninsula, Kodiak Island, as well as the Alaska Peninsula here up in across Iliamna Lake, say to maybe Sleepmute, and then also the Arctic coast there, areas of moderate turbulence there as well. And then out to the west, increasing turbulence with the next system coming into the far western Aleutians.